Minnesota Original is made possible by the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
On this edition of Minnesota Original, she grew up in Duluth, started doing stand-up in Minneapolis, and now she's a comic and voice actor in LA. Maria Bamford returns home to headline a show at the Acme Comedy Company. They are the old guard and the new standards. Chan Poling, John Munson, and Steve Rome reinterpret pop, rock, and classic songs, making them fresh and soulful. Cool people doing cool work, now on Minnesota Original.
Trying to bring the kind of anxiety and tension of reality shows into my everyday life. I gathered all my ex-boyfriends into a room for a rose ceremony. Anybody? Anybody?
My name is Maria Bamford. I'm a professional stand-up comedian and also do some writing and voiceover and comedic acting. I didn't hear you. What? I grew up in
Duluth, where we got a library shaped like an oarboat and cinnamon rolls the size of your head.
I'm your friend from grade school that you're wondering about where they went.
You may have seen her on Comedy Central. She also has a brand new cartoon right now called Adventure Time on Cartoon Network, but she's here with us right now. Please put your hands together for Maria Bamford, everybody.
I am performing at the Acme Comedy Club. I come every 6 months and perform or seem to be able to headline at least the past 5 or 6 years.
My family's gonna come down from Duluth. That's exciting because we're playing a new game in my family. It's called Joy Whack-A-Mole. What happens? Somebody brings up something that they're happy about, and the other person slams it down before they can ever feel too good about what's going on in their lives.
I'm very passive-aggressive, I think, in my comedy. I do characters saying the things that are meaningful to me are, relationships and my family.
Mom is the best at the game, though. Mom, Amy had her baby. Oh, that's great news, honey. I mean, it's not the greatest news for the 600,000 kids in foster care, but if she wants a fresh one... Jeez.
Maria is an alternative comic, I guess, is where they would label her, but she's just incredibly funny, and she'll do different things. It's not just jokey jokes, and it's she'll tell stories, and she's very personable. You learn a lot about her, more than some comics would share.
Oh, I'm getting older. Anybody else here aging? Exciting, right? Your skin's getting softer, but then your bones start to jut out, so you're half soft, half sharp. Got a little Diet Coke hump growing. Pretty soon my face is gonna be covered in whiskers, gonna slick them back like Wolverine.
Maria being from Duluth and a local, which is always exciting to see somebody that is a star. And she's come up with the alternative scene, when she was with Comedians Comedy with, Patton Oswalt and Zach Galifianakis, and those guys were part of kind of the different style of comedy, bringing comedy to a different level and bringing it to another audience.
Not a lot of people, know me downtown, know me. It's just pretty safe for me to walk down here. It's okay, though. I don't need people to know me, to get me.
Man, do you recognize this woman, man? Do you know who she is?
No, I don't. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
What's unique and appealing about Maria is she has such a different style. She's so pleasant and likable and just incredibly funny.
You really can tell a lot about people by watching their act. Even though it's a joke, it's not a joke.
If you have mental health problems and you do not have health insurance, call the operator. Because they are there, they are standing by 24/7. If you get the right person, a nice person, they will sometimes give you a full 45-minute session. Okay, so you have like psychological problems. Yes, I need to see some kind of professional. Okay, so it's not something you can talk about with your friends? Well, I talk about it, but they're like, why can't you come out tonight? I say, because I'm filthy. They say, take a shower. I say, no, it's on the inside.
I also like to tell about things that I think, oh, if I talk about it, then maybe somebody else who's feeling afraid, you know, that they have some weird thought, like they'll feel better.
I realized I was in a potentially volatile relationship with myself. I am always yelling at myself. You know, I seem charming now, but when I'm alone, it's like, why don't you go to the gym and have a baby? I've been thinking about having kids. I got the names picked out. They're going to be Donut and the Golden Hen. I know what you're saying. How do you know they're going to be girls? But a mother knows. Anyways, I don't know. I'm actually quite afraid of kids because they're so small and they don't know anything.
I'm very positive. I love positivity. That, you know, we're all flowers in a beautiful garden and we just have to bloom.
I want to support you in whatever journey you're on. I think I've started doing that more. I think I'm getting older and I just start giving unsolicited encouragement to people. I don't know if I can finish this hoagie. Yes, you can. There's no reason. I mean, you know, take it little bits of beef at a time. You know what you could do is you could take that half a hoagie, bring it home, deal with it tomorrow. Make some calls, find someone else who's having a hard time finishing their meal, get together, bookend it together, say, oh, I'm going to work on my hoagie. Oh, you're going to work on your hoagie? Okay, and then dream big.
I'm a bit odd, and so even my own people are confused.
It's part of a larger piece. Oh.
She just has that unique, interesting voice, and it's something to watch. Once you see Maria, you'll come out a little bit amazed, thinking about stuff and thinking about your life, and I don't know. It's just wonderful to watch.
Thank you guys so much for coming out on Wednesday. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Keep it going for all the rest of the comics.
It's really great. I really love Minnesota. It's just very comforting to me, the accent and the eye contact. And Los Angeles, there isn't as much eye contact.
Watch our exclusive videos of vocalist Manque Indose and other performers online at mnoriginal.org.
This will become a chair seat. Basically plywood for plastic laminate on the top. My name is Scott McGlasson. I'm an artisan, designer, woodworker. My studio's in St. Paul. I make beds, credenzas, dining room tables, chairs, tabletop items, smaller pieces, vessels, vases, bowls, plates, a lot of turn plates. I've been really into just turning a real clean line, simple plate lately. I am more of a modernist than anything, although I do like sort of old world styles and means of joinery. I like to balance disparate elements, you know, something rough with something clean and smooth. Today I'm making a production run of chairs for a commercial job. The chair is kind of a mashup of old world qualities, and then it's got some modern elements. I like to just let the wood, the materials speak for themselves. All right, this is urea resin glue. It's two-part glue. It's really rigid, really strong. These are laminated because it forms a nice gentle curve for a seat, just basically for comfort. Looks better. I mean, a perfectly flat chair seat's not gonna look, well, like a chair. Most dining chairs have some sort of shape or profile to them. Six pieces in all, 5 glue joints. This is 1/8" Baltic birch, so it's thin. It has 3 plies in it. I worked in education. I have an English degree, and that was my first post-college job. I didn't last very long. I liked it, but it was hard. I wasn't cut out for it. I took some VOTEC classes. It was part of my fringe benefit package, and really liked it from the very beginning. And I've just slowly gotten better. You know, now basically I'm making strictly furniture. This form I made just by cutting pieces of wood on the bandsaw, gluing it together. So right now I'm just sort of setting it up to be clamped. Stretchy twine just kind of keeps it in place. That's good. Shave the corners a little bit. So you just set it in here. It's a clamping mechanism. Basically, it just evacuates all the air. Once the pump is turned on, this thing is sealed up tight, all the air escapes from it. And it clamps basically with pressure. Pump goes on. Takes it about 5 minutes for all the air to evacuate. Put a heat blanket on it. It speeds up the set time on the glue. This was on someone's bed one day. It might return to someone's bed. I hope not. It's work for one thing, but it's never drudgery. Most days it's, wow, I actually get to work with these materials, and people pay me for my designs and my work. It's great. There's a lot of cool machines. There's that element too. So this is my studio. I share it with a couple other people. It's pretty nice. It's pretty big, bigger than I could afford. Here's some of my work that I pulled out. This is a credenza. I call it rustic modern because it's got some clean line elements. Plates that I turn on my lathe. Walnut, birch. This is just a piece of wood with a live edge. Get it from a mill up by Duluth. Ash, baseball bat material. This is Mr. Drink, and just did a little production run of these. Basically, it's a little cocktail caddy, so you can wheel it around. And a good friend of mine, who's an awesome metal worker, is making the handle, and it's basically a bottle opener out of steel. So you can, this is my storage shelf. It's got various pieces and different stages of completeness. These will become these. This is my milking stool. 3-legged, stable on any surface. I like to think that my work is very authentic. I touch all parts of whatever piece it is. I use a lot of old world joinery techniques. I also like to mix in some modern components. The chair, it's a post and rung chair. It's a traditional chair that you know, the Shakers did, Windsors did. You know, there's Danish chairs that have that same structure, but then it's got a laminated seat and back. It's just got some modern elements, and then it's got some old-timey traditional elements to it too. Chair leg. Okay, so a few hours later, and pretty warm. All right, there it is. Stiff as a board. This is the shape of my seat. This could be cut with a router, but I'm not very fond of routers. So that's that. All right, next step is sanding it. One last step. And that becomes this, the finished product. Classic post and rung chair with some modern elements.
I'm Margaret Pazalla-Granlund, and I'm working with these curved paper surfaces that have these sort of lunar landscapes on them. Well, I really like working with paper because it's sort of a really accessible, low-tech material, but it also has really great kind of engineering properties, right? Like you can make paper do a lot of things structurally. It's always a negotiation between me and the paper.
This is John Munson, Steve Rome, and my name's Chan Poling. We're the new standards, and we're at the Ritz Theater tonight in Northeast Minneapolis.
How young are you? How old am I? Let's count the rings around my eyes. Smart are you? How dumb am I? Don't count on any of my advice. Meet me any place or anywhere or anytime. Now I don't care. Meet me tonight. If you will dare, I will dare.
A New Standard is a song that we're passionate about and feel has rich musical depths that our group is uniquely capable of kind of lending a new life to.
I am waiting here for more. I am waiting by your door. I am waiting on your back steps. I am waiting in my car. I am waiting at this bar. I am waiting for your absence.
We kind of joke around at shows and say, we just play songs that we like, but we like them for specific reasons, lyrically, melodically, harmonically, that are suitable for us to kind of explore with our weird configuration.
And reintroduce them too is a good way to look at it too. So a lot of people at our shows are going, "Oh, that song! I love that song. I forgot I had that song in my iPod." You know, you forget sometimes.
I want you to to want me. I need you to need me. I love you to love me. I'm begging you to beg me. Shine up your brown shoes, put on a brand new shirt. Come home early from work if you say that you love me.
It's also what our favorite old jazz artists used to do. They would take, a song from My Fair Lady, a pop song, and they'd play it their own way. They'd put their personality and their soul into it. So in that way, it's like a jazz reinterpretations of, our favorite songs. For instance, Love is a Law is an old song that I'd written for the suburbs. When I was at Cal Arts, when I was still a teenager, I wrote this one riff that I really liked. And that turned into this. It has this kind of catchy figure that introduces the song. And it really reminded me kind of steel drums or trumpets played on the Suburbs record, but it kind of has this Latin feel to it. So Steve played, the steel drumish kind of Caribbean version of that.
Through the middle of town, and I said to myself, yeah, what's going on? People breaking the law just to make ends meet. People breaking their hearts just to stay off the street. And they're written on the wall for everyone to see. Was love is the law. Right there on the street it said, love is love.
One nice thing about our version of Love is the Law is it's clean. If you're familiar with the original, it's real souped up and it's got the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and to get like that motif that Chan's talking about on a real clean sounding instrument, it's like looking at the song through a different lens. It's like, oh, it might give you a chance to like reinterpret some of the lyrics. It's like, oh, that's great. I love that idea, and with a totally different tonal kind of palette, it kind of takes on a different meaning. I think our version of it's pretty heartwarming. Not that the original wasn't,
yeah,
but it
brings new emotion to the song.
Yeah, well, girls, yeah, you're looking all right, and Munson, yeah.
I think the cool thing about having these particular instruments is that John can play all by himself, and that's full and rich. Steve can, just play one little chord, and we can sing over that. The smallness of it sometimes can make it seem very orchestral and big. There are certain songs, like Love is a Law, they're the most memorable and they're the most fun to play. I swear, I think Love is a Law is the one that lives the longest, though, I think. It just sounds fresh to me every time I play it.
Steve has like legit jazz chops. It's like having Slash or something like that in your jazz band, somebody to do like a screaming lead, except Steve does it on vibraphone.
I really was impressed by the way he picked his parts and arranged. His mind was, you know, as an arranger's mind. So all his vibe parts are very well placed and really beautiful, I thought.
We didn't start the band as a lark, but it's been so much fun that it sometimes feels like a lark. But we've always been serious about it at some level, and I'm not surprised that we've been around now for 6 years, and I think we could be around for a lot longer, as long as it stays fun.
Coming soon to Minnesota Original, and anytime online at mnoriginal.org.
Minnesota Original is made possible by the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.